Kia ora. I just filmed a book haul and I was looking at my shelves and I've decided that I need to do a bit of an unhaul. So I thought I would film it and see if it was at all entertaining. I don't know if many of you know this about me, but I do have a bit of a book buying problem. And 2021, that definitely went a bit out of control. I purchased a lot of books just because, and a lot of them I'm now realizing I'm probably never going to read. So it's time to break bad habits. No more buying books just for the sake of it. And really think about what it is I'm bringing into this home. 2022, only good books. Kieran and Aggie both recently did unhaul videos, so shout out to you. Let's hope that once I do this, I don't just see it as an excuse to fill all the spaces, and that we just start being a little bit more of a conscious consumer. Yeah, okay, we'll go with that. Okay, we're gonna start with, just gonna push this pile in front of you. A collection of books that I know I will never read. I want to, but I just won't. I just know I won't. And that is Game of Thrones. Yes, I did purchase these books brand new. Yeah, I thought I was gonna read them. That's definitely not happening now. I will most likely try to sell these copies because they're in perfect, pristine condition. There are 7 books and he hasn't even finished writing them, so we will just push those over there. I also have this Fire and Blood, which is like a history of the world. What's it called? Westeros. Is that what it's called? I don't know. Yeah. I loved the show and I love the idea of reading the books and getting a bit lost in those worlds, but I just know I won't do it. I mean, even as I'm looking at it now, I'm just like, just keep them. Like, you might have all the time in the world soon, but I just know I won't. So I need to just snap out of it, be realistic. Renee, you're not going to read these books, so just move along. Okay. We have some Anne Patchett. I read the blurbs on these and I was like, I'm not interested in those, so we have 2 of hers. Joyce Carol Oates, again, like, don't really want to read anything she writes because she's kind of a weird one. Getting rid of those. I have 2 collections by Laurie Moore that I just don't love these covers. Like, there are very 90s kind of covers. They're definitely books that I want to read, but for now, I am happy to just not own the books and just wait until I find editions of these that I like. Same with this Alice Munro collection of short stories. It's just hideous, so. Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close by Jonathan Safran Foer. Not interested in reading this book. Rodham by Curtis Sunfeld. Yeah, I've heard that it's not that great and don't really want to read about potential what if for Hillary Clinton. The Memory Police by Yoko Ogawa. I read this book, didn't love it, so I'm just gonna not have it in my collection. We've got another Anne Patchett. We've got a book that I was forced to buy last week in a book fair because I needed to buy 5 books in order to use my EFOS card. I really, when I think about it now, I should have just asked her to charge me $5 for the 3 books that I did want, and not just buy books for the sake of it. So we learned that lesson. This is just a copy of Crudo that I have that's extra because I bought a new one last week. It was $1 and it was in much nicer condition than this one, so sell that one. The View from Castle Rock. I think this is Alice Munro's biography. No, it's fiction, but she's writing about the history of her family, I think. I'm not really interested in that at all. Silence of the Girls, that's the other book that I was forced to buy to make up 5 books at the book fair. Mother Tongue by Bill Bryson. Nope. Airhead by Emily Maitlis. I believe she's a journalist. Kind of like Buzz names on the back were what made me pick it up, but I'm not really interested in reading that. So a couple of Ann Tyler's, haven't read any of her writing. These both sounded like really interesting stories, but really ugly books, so we're not doing that this year. The Buried Giant by Kazuya Ishiguro, which I have like others of his books that I would rather read, and this one just does not interest me at all. So yeah, I have 3 books by Ian McEwan, which I think I bought because they all matched, but I'm not really interested in reading them. They're by Amsterdam, The Innocent and Enduring Love. I would like to read Atonement, but I've never found a copy that looks like this because these ones are quite covers. So yeah, those 3 are gone. War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy. I mean, who am I kidding? The writing on this book is tiny, and it's like over 1,000, nearly 1,000 pages. And when I bought it at the charity shop, the man was like, "Are you actually going to read this?" And I was like, "Yes." I'm definitely not. No thanks. I do have Anna Karenina, and I want to read that more, but this battered old copy of War and Peace can go somewhere else. That's like 3 whole books that it's taking up space for. Another one that I'm never going to read that's too huge to even look at is Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand. Yeah, just not going to read it. This one's in pretty good condition though. I got it secondhand. The Comedians by Graeme. I have one of his books that I'm interested in reading, but he's got a nice dedication in it. To Clarice with love from Helen. So nice. This copy's just a little bit too beat up, old for me. I'm sure someone else will love it. Next I have the Fermata by Nicholas Baker. Yep. Read the blurb. Don't like the idea of a man who spends his time imagining taking women's clothes off. It's supposed to be quite funny, but I'm not, no. I'm Thinking of Ending This by Ian Reid. I read this book, I liked it, but I'm probably not going to read it again, and it doesn't need to live on my shelf, so we're donating it. I'm noticing that a lot of the writers that I'm getting rid of are men. The Shell Collector by Anthony Delwa. Sounded like a cute story, but there's just way too many other books that I'd rather read, so when I think about it, I actually want to read it. The Mothers by Britt Bennett. I'm just not interested in reading her writing, to be honest. I think I bought this to use a credit to use up a credit that I had at a bookshop in Christchurch, and yeah, I'd rather read the other one. What's the other one called? Vanishing Twins, because I've heard it's a lot like Passing by Nella Larson, which I really loved. So yeah, it's not to say that I wouldn't read Britt Bennett's writing, just this one. I don't know. Brand new book though. Gorgeous. Then I have the 3 Margaret Atwoods that I've held on to for years because I've always said to myself, I will read Margaret Atwood, but I really won't. Like, none of these stories are of interest to me, and I don't want to read her, so. Then we have a Philip Roth. Out of all the Philip Roths that I have, this one sounded the least interesting to me, and I wanted to get rid of at least one, so with that, I'm so tempted to keep this one just for the cover because it's so good. Thank You for Smoking by Christopher Buckley, but the movie was like okay, so I don't think the writing or the story will be any better. Like, I would just read American Psycho if I want to read about a douchey guy working in corporate America. But this cover is stunning. I found this book for free on the side of the road, so pass it on to somebody who will hopefully read it and appreciate the cover more than I will, because it will get read. And then I have two by Julian Barnes. He was a writer that I just started buying when I saw randomly because of The Sense of an Ending, which I haven't actually read but I've heard is amazing. So yeah, we have Pulse, which is a collection of short stories, and The Noise of Time, which is not that interested in that story. And the last one is actually a book that I got in a book exchange, which I feel bad about getting rid of now, but I'm just not interested in this book at all. The Five People You Meet in Heaven by Mitch Albom. Yeah, I think it's supposed to be quite sentimental and sweet, and like talks about death and what happens to us after we die and that kind of stuff, but I'm just not all that interested. Okay, that's the unhaul. It was much quicker than the haul, obviously, because these are books I'm just like wanting to get rid. I highly recommend doing it if you are anything like me and just have books that you don't even know why you bought them, probably just to feel something. Here's to better habits in 2022. I'm excited about the way that the shelf is looking and things that are there, and really like Marie Kondo'ing it. If it's not bringing me joy, if I look at it and I think, why? Get rid. Some of these I'll probably try to sell because some of them are brand new books. Others I'll donate or drive around and see if I can find some free little libraries in my neighbourhood. I think there's one pretty close, so I'll probably just take everything there. Thanks for watching this video. See you in the next one. Ka kite.